Everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm feeling super tired and drained today, but I figured I would get a quick weekend update for you guys just to see what's going on in the collective, what's going on with these divine masculines, divine feminines. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, something's flipped over here. We're just going to, what in the world has happened here? We're just going to pull some cards once I get my act together here. It has been a week, man. It has been a week. And we have that's what it is. We have the eclipse on Tuesday. So we're in between eclipses right now. And let me know how you guys are feeling the energies. We are also in the middle of Mercury retrograde. And interesting thing about that is it feels like the universe, through this retrograde, I know retrograde is all about going backwards, all about looking within, all about, the past stuff coming up to the surface. But for the Twin Flame Collective, especially for the segment that I typically read for, that I'm a part of, it seems like the universe, this retrograde, is pushing us forward. It feels like it's pushing us into action. Especially with the Divine Masculines, it really feels like it's pushing them into communication for some, into action for some, even into more going within. And for those of you who are in communication, it might look like upheaval. It might look like triggering. It might look like, on both ends, for both the Divine Masculines and the Divine Feminines, it might look like, I'm getting the word clusterfuck, and I'm like, no, I don't want to use that word. And they're like, yeah, you can say it. So yeah, it might look like kind of a clusterfuck. I know with my own situation, my Divine Masculine and I, we've been back in touch. You guys can, if you've been on the channel for a while, we've basically been in touch for the past 2 years, except for a couple months and weeks with just silence. This week, it was just, we argued, we talked, we had a beautiful moment of connection, of peace and balance. Then we argued, and it feels like we are healing something together now. It just feels like, reunion. It feels like this is reunion. And I feel like it doesn't look like the way we expected it to be, or the way we thought it would be. It doesn't look like, you come into reunion or you come into union and it's all peace and bliss and harmony and happiness. Spirit is actually saying, yes, that's what is to come. Queen of Cups just fell out. Yes, that is what's coming. That is what this connection is all about. But you have to clear the karma first. And what they have been channeling to me for the past few weeks is that you have individually cleared your own karma, your own past, closed out your own cycles. Now what's been happening is you're clearing the karma that was created together within your relationship. When you guys first came together, you first connected, it was beautiful. It was harmony. It was beautiful. It was love. And then the trigger started because you had your own baggage. You had your own, what I'd like to call, soul sludge coming up to the surface. You had your own karma. This was also this lifetime's karma and past lifetime's karma that you had to come up to clear. And what that created was triggers and challenges and obstacles, and because you guys are divine mirrors of each other. Divine mirrors of each other. Everybody's a reflection of each other, but you two are divine mirrors of each other. You are the same frequency. You are two parts to one whole. The same vibrational frequency. The same vibrational match. And every soul has their own frequency. Every soul has their own energetic imprint, their own energetic blueprint. You and your divine counterpart are the same. That is what the twin flame, the twin soul is truly about. It's that two parts to one whole. One soul split into two physical bodies. But you're the same frequency, the same energetic imprint, the same match. And so you're the divine mirror of one each other, the divine masculine to the divine feminine to the divine masculine. And when you see one another, when you truly see the soul of one another, it triggers old fears. conditioned fears, fears that you had experienced throughout lifetimes based on false beliefs, based on beliefs that are passed down through lineage, through lifetimes, based on experiences that you've had with each other through lifetimes, that triggered some of these old fears in you. And also conditioning of what you've seen in your own family or your own friendships or your own other relationships, that kind of conditioned you to be afraid of this pure divine love, because this is pure divine love. And I know I experienced that myself, where I was truly could not be receiving of my divine masculine's love. I could not believe that he loved me. Now, a lot of that was because of what we experienced in our relationship, because, it was, I knew he loved me. I could feel that he loved me. I could feel the depth of that, but he was never saying it. He was never showing it, not in a way that I was capable of understanding it. Especially in a way that I was capable of understanding it at that time. He wasn't speaking my love language, and so I wasn't receiving his love language. Now, what has happened from that is I truly unblocked that, and I think it's Ascension Confessions episode number 16, if you want to check that out, where I had a realization that he does love me, and that I was just blocking that for myself. I couldn't see that for myself, how much he does care, how much he does love me, because I was looking at the evidence or the lack thereof rather than the feelings that were there. And that was blocking me from receiving his love. And once I unblocked that, it was like a flood of emotion came through me. And I just came back to this place of peace and balance. And my whole mindset shifted. I had a complete shift in consciousness around love. And I think, so part of that was because our own karmic cycle that we had created. We had created this karmic cycle by, him saying we're just friends, him saying, I don't feel anything for you, him not showing me, him not telling me. Anytime I would say I love you, he would shut down, or he would go silent for weeks at a time. And then that would trigger feelings of rejection and abandonment in me. And I would say, oh, maybe he changed his mind about me. Maybe he's not going to stay and show up for me like I thought he was. So it triggers wounding within you. And through that, it's past wounding is what you're healing. But through that, what happens is you guys create your own karmic cycle within your connection, within your relationship. And so what's happening now, as you come into reunion, as you come into communication with one another, you still might be experiencing these triggers, but it's coming from a different place, because you both have healed and you both have transformed so much that it is coming from a different place. You're recognizing it now. You're feeling more balanced within yourself. You're reacting differently. You're choosing to react differently. You're choosing to see things differently. And you're feeling things differently. For myself, I know that the love is there between us. I know that without a doubt that he is my person, that he is my divine masculine, where before I was going back and forth. I'm like, oh, maybe he's not. Maybe, I was just making this up. Maybe, what if? But now I have absolute certainty that I love him, that I'm in love with him, and that I will always show him that love. I can't not show him that love, because it's what I'm feeling. Now, whether or not he actually returns that in the physical 3D, that's not up to me. I have to accept where we are at this point in time. And I'm still kind of healing from a little bit of that. But I accept that, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate him, and I'm just trusting in God, trusting the divine, that wherever God wants to bring me, whether it's my person or somebody else, that the love that is between me and my person is still there, and he will always be my person. He will always be the one that I choose, no matter what. But there is a reality that I am being faced with, which is accepting where he is at this point in time. And what I believe is that he is healing through this karmic cycle as well, because we're healing together now. You're healing, you're truly healing, and I keep doing a circle because that's what it feels like. It feels like we created this karmic circle, this karmic cycle, that is now being healed between the two of us, and it's coming up for a lot of communication. It's coming up for a lot of setting boundaries. We still have not communicated where we both are. Now what we want for a new beginning, we haven't communicated that, but it's kind of unfolding, and we're building a new foundation of friendship. At least that's what I think. I've kind of learned that what I think could be completely different from what is true. especially when it comes to the divine masculines. But I'm also trusting my heart, and I'm also trusting my intuition, and just coming to a place of allowing and letting things to unfold. But that's truly what's happening is you're closing out the karma that you guys have experienced together, all of the pain of the past, all the resentment. You're coming to a place of forgiveness. You're coming to a place of balance. You're coming to a place of peace within yourself. And as you do that, you open up to more and more love with one another. And as you open up more and more love to one another, you allow yourself to receive the love that is true love. And you allow yourself to give that love. And as you do that, you allow things to unfold however they're meant to unfold. Yeah, the Two of Wands keeps coming out for the readings that I'm doing, and what I keep getting is there are paths that you can choose. You have the free will. This is not a major arcana card. You have the paths that you can choose. The universe is guiding you through this doorway of divine love. But you have a path, especially for the divine masculines. They have a path that they can choose. They can choose one of these other paths, it's whatever they want for their own soul's growth. But it's almost like these paths are continuing to the 3D, continuing to stay where they are, to continue nurturing the relationships and the friendships and the family dynamics that have kind of held them back, versus opening their heart completely to love and walking through the door. We've been getting that message for the past few weeks. This is the doorway to divine love. This is the doorway to this new level of ascension, to this new level of evolution, to this new level of their own soul's growth. And the universe is coming in and nudging them there. And you see, it's almost like the divine feminine is on the other side, asking them, inviting them in. But they have that choice to make. They have the choice of which path they want to go on. And I feel like that's where the divine masculines are at this time. They're awakened to this connection. They are feeling the flood of emotion, the flood of love for the divine counterpart. Two things here. Listen to the very powerful message, the divine masculine healing original separation. I'm going to post all the links that I'm recommending in the description box below. Listen to the Union Energies update because that piggybacked off of that. Equally powerful messages, the channeled messages for Twin Flames, I think that's what it was, and even the pick-a-pile that we just did for the Summer 11, we channel high vibrational energy, so it's more about the ascension journey than the 3D relationship, but it has some information. And what we got in one of those groups was they are holding themselves back because they're afraid to choose love, because they have never experienced this divine love before, and not even for themselves. And so they've kind of been afraid, and they've been holding themselves back. That's the energy that I'm getting here. They're holding themselves back. They know what they want. They can see it, but they have the choice to make. Do they want to continue on the path that they've been on, or do they want to take that leap of faith? Do they want to take that risk that isn't even a risk? It's not even a risk, because it's going to be reciprocated. That love is reciprocated, and they know it, they feel it, but it's just their own fear and just their own conditioning that is holding them back. It's the comfort zone, is what Spirit is saying. It's the comfort zone of what is familiar. They're familiar with the old template of relationships. They're familiar with people putting them down. They're familiar with people not lifting them up. They're familiar with stagnancy versus growth. They're not familiar with this divine unconditional love. They've never experienced that in this incarnation before. They've never experienced this in the physical 3D body before. And so they're remembering that love because they're feeling it for the divine feminine. They're remembering what it is to have that soul love when you are one with the divine, not in physical flesh, but when you're one with the divine. And they're waking up to the fact that they can have that in this lifetime, but it's just a fear that's continuing to hold them back. All right, let's get some messages for the weekend update, please. What do we have for the weekend for divine counterparts? We have the Lovers, and we have the King of Wands, and the Queen of Cups keeps wanting to show herself at the bottom of the deck here. I feel like this is divine masculine, divine feminine energy. The divine feminine is offering herself. She's offering this love. But you see how their backs are turned to one another? It's like they can't see. It's like they're refusing to see this love that's between them. Almost like they're not ready. And here between them is what they can have. Is what this is leading them towards. It is leading them towards this divine love, this equal partnership. The divine masculine in his glory. This is like emperor energy here. He's in control, but not corrupt control. He's in control of himself. He's in control of his life, in authority of his life. He is expressing himself, his true self. He's risen to the occasion, is what I just heard. He's risen to the occasion to step beside his divine feminine and to protect her, to support her, to raise her up. And the divine feminine is in this energy of receiving, in this energy of nurturing and nourishing and loving the divine feminine. Loving the divine masculine. And the energy is just pouring down through both of them. Through both of them. This is soul merge. This is the fusion of the two becoming one. This is what they both want. Divine masculine in the King of Wands energy, feeling confident, wanting to take action, feeling the fire in his heart. God. Spirit, I can't say that. Okay. I just heard feeling the fire in his loins, which is not something I would ever say. So I know that's coming from Spirit, and they are cracking up right now. So I feel like they're just playing with me. But it's sacral chakra energy. You see all the orange here? There is passion here. There is fire here for the divine feminine. And it's sexual fire too. It's sexual passion. It's intensity. It's wanting to take action on all levels because they're feeling this connection on all levels. They're feeling the physicality. They're feeling the sexuality. They're feeling the mental connection. They're feeling the emotional connection. They are especially feeling the spiritual connection, the spiritual pull between the two. And the divine feminine is here, and she's saying, you see how there's this lightning here, this electricity? She's feeling the electric pull, the electromagnetic pull, they just said, between the two of them as well. Like, this is reciprocated. And she is offering herself. She's offering her heart. But their backs are still turned to one another. Their backs are still turned to one another. Okay, tell me more about that. What's going on? What's blocking them? Knight of Cups, wanting to come forward in this triumph and express themselves, express emotions. Judgment. And the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Judgment is the call, the rebirth, the reawakening, the rising up. Remember when I said that he's being called to rise? The rising up of both of you. The rising up to this next level. The rising up to this next phase of evolution. The rising up of this next phase of ascension. The rising up of this next phase of this relationship. The divine is calling you to rise. The divine is calling you to make a decision. The divine is calling you through this love to lift one another up. To become one. Don't turn your back on this connection. Because we have the Four of Wands here. Stability, security. You both wanting this. You both wanting to ride forward. This is divine masculine and divine feminine energy here. You're both wanting to ride forward and express this to one another. Express that this is what you want. That this is what you want. You want this stability. You want this security. You want this commitment. You want this happiness. This is marriage for some, but whatever marriage looks like for you two, you want this partnership. And the divine is coming in between you two, not between you two, but the divine is coming in and guiding you two and calling you to rise up. It just fell. Two of Cups just fell. And we have the Eight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And the Ace of Wands, and the Hierophant, and the King of Swords. I'm going to, Knight of Pentacles, I want me to take two. Oh my gosh, and the Three of Cups, which is a union card for me. It's the two becoming one. The two becoming one. All right, give me a second. We have a lot here. I'm going to read them all. So the Two of Cups fell out and flew out. And see here? You both have something to offer to each other. You both want to ride forward and offer this cup of love to each other, but you're just blocking yourselves. You're just blocking yourself. It's like you can't even see it. And here we have the Two of Cups turning into the Three of Cups, the two becoming one. And we have been channeling this message for almost a year, where once you fill up your own cup, then that cup of love that you have for yourself overflows so that you can offer it to one another. And once you offer it to one another, that love just expands and expands and expands, and it comes into this one cup, the two becoming one, two souls, or one soul, two bodies, coming back together again to become one. And this is Trinity energy. This is one with the divine masculine, divine feminine, the divine. And that cup overflows and it just floods the entire world. That is the magnitude of this love. It just floods the entire world. It just continues to expand and expand and expand. This love, it has a ripple effect. It's explosive, this love. This spiritual connection, this love, this divine love, it is God's love. It's looking at love through the lens of God, through the lens of the divine. And it is pure, unconditional love. And as you two come together, as you stop blocking this love, as you two come together, that love just explodes and ripples out. And I had channeled that in one of the twin channel messages for Twin Flames videos, that it's not just to uplift the planet, it affects the entire world. It echoes out across the universe. It changes. Okay, they're giving it to me again. It's this Big Bang energy. It changes everything. It renews everything. And I'm asking them to pull back because I don't want to go that deep today. And they're respecting that. But listen to, I think we called it the Cosmic Effect, channel messages for Twin Flames. That is truly what you're here for. It's not just changing the paradigm of this planet. That's a very narrow mindset. It is changing everything. It is changing the evolution of everything. It's changing the entire universe. That is the power of this love, because that is the power of God's love. So we have the King of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. That was all at the bottom of the deck. So what they're pointing me to, Ace of Wands right now, they're showing that to me. This is, they're giving me, this is the Magician's Wand. This is you guys manifesting this. And you see, the Ace of Wands is a new beginning in passion. It's a new beginning in love. It's a new beginning in taking action for your life. But they're actually giving me energy of the Magician's Wand. This is you manifesting. This is you manifesting this relationship. This is you manifesting this love. This is you manifesting this next level of your own evolution, this next level of your ascension journey. This is you manifesting this love, this love. And it's not just 3D love. That is what has to be understood. It is not just the 3D love, because that is such a narrow mindset. This love encompasses everything. This is a spiritual love first and foremost. And as you experience it within, then it manifests into your 3D relationship. And that is what is being blocked right now. That is why you have your backs turned to one another, because it's that 3D relationship that the Divine Masculine is almost afraid of, because they have looked at their 3D relationships before. And Divine Feminines, if you're relating to this as well, this is your masculine energy within you. They have looked at their 3D relationships before, and it has caused patterns, it has caused toxicity, it caused karma, it caused a lot of pain for them. And I'm getting the feeling that they are very afraid of that pattern persisting within this connection. But they have to understand that this connection is not that of the past. It's just not. It's not that of the past. This is something new. This is something powerful. This is something divine. This is something spiritual first and foremost. So then we have the Knight of Swords, Eight of Wands, okay, Knight of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So the energy, I'm going to read these all together. The energy that I'm getting is that this is both of you guys. You're both wanting to speak your truth. You're both wanting to express yourselves, your true selves to one another. You're both wanting to communicate and take action, and swift moving action at this. But you're being held back a little bit. You're wanting to ride forward with this passion, but you're being held back a little bit because it's almost like you want to do it right. And you're taking your time because you want to do it right, because you have this of value. You have this pentacle of value to offer. You want to ride forward in the physical 3D to offer this commitment, because you're awakened to this commitment. You're awakened to this love, and you're wanting to bring this down into the physical 3D world. You're wanting this commitment with your partner. You're wanting this Four of Wands, but you're wanting to do it right. I'm getting a feeling of afraid of rejection, afraid of abandonment, afraid of this persisting, of what you had experienced in the past persisting. But you have to communicate with one another. You have to, two cards of communication here. You have to communicate with one another and be willing to step up as a knight. A knight is willing to go into battle. No matter how slow his horse, he's always willing to go into battle. He's willing to fight. He's willing to take charge, take the lead. He's willing to be on the front lines. You have to step up and take that risk. Because there is no battle. You guys want the same thing. I'm going to get a couple more cards and then we're going to close out. This is what you're afraid of. This is what you're afraid of. You're afraid that it's going to be a victory, but that you're going to lose something. You're afraid that it's going to feel victorious, but you're going to lose so much too. And perhaps you have. Because evolution means that you have to let go of the things that aren't serving you anymore. But it's so that you can have something greater come in. We have the Page of Wands here. A lot of fire energy here. A lot of fire energy here. Wanting to move forward. Wanting to move forward towards this victory. Wanting to express your truth. Wanting to express yourself. Both of you. This is both of you. Okay. I just asked for a final card and we got the Justice card, wanting to bring this into balance, this relationship into balance, because there was a lot of disharmony here, a lot of imbalance, wanting to bring justice to this connection through speaking your truth and offering this commitment to one another. Now, the energy that I'm getting here, especially with this balance card, is wanting to express what this connection means to one another. Now, if that doesn't mean relationship in the 3D, take it as it resonates for you and your situation. At the very least, the beginning of your communication, wanting to express what you mean to one another. Wanting to commit to the spiritual partnership at the very least. If not this 3D commitment. If not this 3D happiness and harmony. But I'm getting the feeling of start with the first step, which is expressing yourself to one another, expressing your love to one another, expressing your passion to one another. Allow that to unfold, your commitment to this connection, your commitment to one another, especially with regards to understanding this connection and your commitment to this connection, saying, I will be there for you. I love you. I support you. I see you. I understand you. Understanding where this journey has brought you both, expressing where this journey has brought you both, expressing how you have both transformed. Communication energy here. You have to communicate with one another. That is the very first step. Allowing yourselves to be vulnerable enough with one another, to express your true selves to one another and your true feelings with one another. You have to express yourselves in order to continue building upon the stable foundation of commitment. And you have no commitment unless you have a stable foundation. And you have no stable foundation unless you have expression of self, expression of emotion, and communication. All right, you guys, I'm going to close out with some romance angels and how you're feeling about each other at the current time. And then we'll be back on Monday with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine separate readings. And some daily energy draws. I think we'll be back doing those as well. I really needed this week to just kind of recharge, and I'm feeling better, so I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll be back. Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, please. Let's get some romance angels. I'll get one more. Yeah. Chemistry on the bottom of the deck. We also got passion here. I'm telling you guys, there's a ton of fire energy here. A ton of fire energy here. And I feel like that and the Ace of Wands has to crown the reading, because it's almost like that is what is leading you guys, your passion and your magnetism and your chemistry towards one another. I don't like to use the word chemistry. It's like that magnetism towards one another, because you are one and you're wanting to come together. Like, you're both wanting this. I don't know how else to say this. But remember when I was saying in my intro in the beginning how it's like a new cycle, how you have to close out the karmic cycle together in order to begin fresh with each other within this partnership, within this connection, within this relationship. That's what's happening here. You're having, one or both of you are having extreme passionate feelings for one another, and I feel like it's the divine masculine here. Divine feminine, like she's always had that, but divine masculine, I feel like they're reawakened to their passion for their feminine. And especially with the King of Wands energy there, they're awakened to their true feelings, their romantic feelings, wanting to offer this newness, wanting to offer this fresh start, wanting to offer this declaration of love, declaration of their feelings, not declaration so much, and as an expression of their love, wanting this new fresh start because you are both new, both of you. You're both new for one another because you have both transformed so much that you're getting to know each other again. But as you're getting to know each other again, you have to understand that it is safe now. You are each other's safe place. It is safe for you guys to love now. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Open your heart to give and receive this love now. To understand this connection. You don't have to take this risk to move through that doorway because it's not a risk, because you're feeling this love for one another. It's not, like, I can't emphasize that enough. It's not a risk so much because you're feeling this for one another. And as it's the only risk that's there is taking the leap of faith to express the emotion to one another. That's the only true risk that's there. But it's reciprocated. This passion and this love is truly reciprocated. So it is safe for you to open up to one another. It is safe for you to express yourselves to one another. But you have to make the effort. You have to make the effort, both of you. It is give and take now. It is this justice card. It is this balance. You have to balance the scales. You both have to take action towards one another. You both have to be vulnerable with one another. One cannot be doing the heavy lifting anymore. That 10 of Wands is put down. Those burdens are put down. It can no longer be one carrying the connection. If you want this fresh start, if you want this new love, you both have to make the effort. Listen to your heart. How are you being guided to make that effort? You know, my divine masculine and I got into an argument this week, and I was really pushed to go and see him. And I didn't want to. You know, that was my own pride. That was my own stubbornness. I see that in himself as well. You know, pride and stubbornness there as well. We're reflections of one another. But I'm glad that I did. I listened to my heart. I let that guide me. I'm glad that I did. Because I don't know where we are right now, but it shifted something. It shifted something in me. It shifted something in our relationship. And it does feel like a fresh start. And it's a rocky fresh start. But this is the building. This is the building. You don't know what the house looks like when you're still putting in the foundation, when you're still filling in the cement of the foundation. You don't know what the house itself is going to look like. You have the blueprint. The blueprint is this love. The blueprint is this relationship. The blueprint is this spiritual connection. The blueprint is the unconditional love that you have for one another. But you have to build together now. You have to both make the effort. Understand that it is safe for you to love one another and express that love. Allow your heart to just break open completely and love one another unabashedly. And as you do that, just the love just continues to expand. But you both have to do that because you're both building this new foundation together. All right, you guys, we're going to end there for the weekend update, and we'll be back Monday with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine readings. Sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon.